Thank you, Madam Chairperson,
Order, members.
the honorable members, the honorable guests, and members of the public and members of the media. As men, we must unite and join hands with all the campaigns against the scourge of violence against women. Some of us might be seated here with a lot of political rhetoric, but back home, we are perpetuating the very same violence against our own people at home. We must do also self-reflection. Lento, aina no taxi, aina driver. Simona manyala enziwa ngabantu egameni lenkonzo bathi bangebefundisi. Sisigulo, aina politician. Sisigulo samadoda. Kufuneka ke sisijonge sisigulo. Sithethe ngaso, sisalaphi. As government, we've been very consistent in our fight against unemployment, poverty, and inequality. We continue to resist and refuse any attempts to defocus us. We are steadfast and resolute in fighting unemployment, inequality, and the eradication of poverty in our lifetime. As members of this House, we were all taken aback by the latest unemployment statistics, 29%, and which was also saying in terms of the extended definition, it's 38.5%. Indeed, it's a crisis that we acknowledge, that we welcome. That's why we welcome this debate. We are of the view that this challenge requires a proper constructive response which transcends party politics. I therefore trust this debate is supposed to be taken in that spirit, but I'm not hearing that spirit from some who come to this platform. The following are the measures taken to demonstrate our commitment as government, ANC-led government. The presidency and the DTI are working towards the implementation of the revised industrial strategy to increase the participation of sectors that have the realistic potential to achieve large-scale impact on employment and exports. We are working towards expanding investment in economic infrastructure at both national and local level, particularly on electricity, ports, railroads, to create an enabling environment for inclusive growth. We are working towards the development of a more effective system or more effective systems to promote sustainable local procurement of the capital goods, consumables, and services in order to support the local industrial capacity. Spending by government on goods and services is growing consistently, with a large portion of spending directed at the SMMEs, with payments made within 30 days where there are no disputes. This includes scaling up the programs that support the SMMEs in the townships and in the rural economies. We are ensuring the implementation of the Presidential Job Summit Framework Agreement as part of the President's commitment towards the full implementation of the framework. The President is now convening to deal with this issue of implementation, convening monthly meetings to ensure the fast tracking of the commitments. Remember that the Job Summit put in place a tracking system to ensure the implementation of the 77 commitments made by government and social partners. The majority are being implemented, Honorable Madisha. As government, we are moving urgently to restructure the SOEs to improve their financial and operational sustainability. In particular, our work on ESCOM is a priority. Whilst the policy directive for allocation of high-demand spectrum has been done, the auctioning of the broadband spectrum must be completed urgently. And I need also to mention the presidential youth intervention. The plan sets out 5 priorities and targets that will establish the National Pathway Management Network, promote a workforce solution for growing jobs, develop technology-enabled youth self-employment and township enterprises, build on the workplace-based experience and promote the opportunity for youth to do service. Over the next 10 years, this plan sets ambitious targets. 5 million young work seekers between the ages of 15 and 35 will have been engaged in a national pathway management network and access services to help them grow their employability and identify and pursue the work opportunities. 3 million new temporarily paid work opportunities will have been created through the Youth Employment Services, the YES, work-related integrated learning opportunities and new youth services opportunities. 2 million young people will be engaged in sustainable work opportunities through the Agile Workforce Development Programs. The establishment of the Project Management Office in the Presidency, which will coordinate and drive the intervention and manage delivery and performance, will support this plan. Moreover, a war room will be created or will be established drawing in leading experts from across the departments and social partners and across the public and the private sectors. The YES initiative is led and driven by the private sector in collaboration with the government and labor. There have been 564 company registrations through the YES digital portal in the past 9 months. Of these, 384 companies have been progressed to paying registration fees and have jointly committed to 21,100 youth work experiences. Salaries for these YES programs or YES employment opportunities will put well over R1 billion into the local economies in a year. And I call all companies, big and small, which have not yet committed a number of jobs for young people to do so, because tackling youth unemployment requires all of us to play a role. All this takes place against the backdrop of the stimulus package and the investment summit initiatives, which are ongoing. I think I need to make 2 points here. Sluggish growth in an uncertain global economy will not be turned around overnight. Similarly, state capture and corruption was a protracted process. Ending corruption and state capture is a process, not an event. The steady rebuilding of the state institution bodes well, but make no mistake, the defeat of this scourge is a necessary precondition for real growth and job creation to take place. From the side of the Department of Employment and Labor, our direct contribution to combating the unemployment includes the following. Firstly, the high social impact portfolio. Here, our focus on job preservation and creation. To this end, 1.2 billion was invested in EdCon, acquiring a stake of 19%, and in the process saving about 140,000 direct and indirect jobs. Secondly, absorption of 1 million young, not in employment, not in education, not in training, the NEET. The compensation fund is providing bursaries for 5,000 students studying through the various higher education institutions as investment managers, actuarial scientists, medical practitioners, as well as 2,500 social workers that will be placed to facilitate the compensation fund rehabilitation programs. The Unemployment Insurance Fund again provides 1,000 small enterprise incubation for the operatives that are in the agro-processing sector, hospitality, beauty therapy, and construction. The Department of Employment and Labor, in Q1 of this current financial year, placed 24,000 young people in jobs across the 9 provinces. 21,164 of these jobs are contracted, 835 permanent, 2,331 temporal, and 592 casual jobs. The department, again, has swiftly implemented the Job Summit resolution on reviewing the training layoff scheme process to ensure speedy intervention for companies in distress. Working with the Productivity SA, 860 companies will be assisted to save up to 43,000 jobs by March 2024. We will also create 340 future forums to train 1,110 members of the improved solutions and further 12,460 SMEs to improve their productivity and business efficiencies. And thirdly, the labor activation program. There's a serious labor activation program which we are dealing with through the Unemployment Insurance Fund again, partnered with more than 30 state-owned training providers and institutions to implement training of the UIF beneficiaries. The intention is to pilot the project with training over 160,000 learners over a period of 3 years. The training will vary from skills programs to learnership and artisan training. Through the intervention, 6,000 artisans will be trained together with 67,000 learnerships in construction, financial services, hospitality, and engineering. As at Q1, 20,000 people are training, with over 75% being young people and more than 50% being women. Note that the skills training intervention is aligned to the skills development needs of the labor market in terms of the future of work and the fourth industrial revolution. Madam Speaker, I'm about to conclude. I do want to put it categorically. There is nowhere in the world where, Honorable Maimane, the elitist free market system has provided full employment. So anybody or organizations who thinks that it will do so in the country that have chronic, stubborn, and systematic unemployment crisis like ours should get his head examined. Let us get it this clear. The market cycles have absolutely no inherent ability to correct themselves. Not now, not over time, not any time. It is totally incorrect that the balance between the demand and supply of labor would be a natural state in an economy that has unfettered or self-regulated markets, free of regulations by the state. And Speaker, another stage now, not now, we may have to delve deeper into the whole question of the work. What is the work? What gets counted as work? Maybe using what indicators? As I end, I want to appeal to all South Africans. It is not violence that will increase the limited resources that we're fighting over. It actually does the opposite. Violence takes away little resources that we have. So by engaging in violence, we are actually defeating the same objectives we want to achieve. Let us love ourselves, love our neighbors, love our continent and all her people. Love our women, love our children. We know they are the heart of our nation. Let's embrace brotherhood and sisterhood, and perhaps graduate from just being the South Africans, become proud Africans and wise internationalists. Let us put the blame where it belongs, which has caused the resentment. Exploitation of the desperate foreign workers who are paid less than the stipulated minimum wage, the non-registration of employees with the UIF, failure to declare workers on a monthly basis to the UIF, failure to pay overtime, Sunday work, public holiday rates, and the implementation of the incentive. Still paying workers like slaves by hand, cash, no pay slip, no what, is perpetuated by some in your constituency, Honorable Maimane, who are exploiting the cheap labor of the desperate African workers. Thank you.
Thank you.